As I was listening to all this talk of prayer and peace, I couldn't help but notice a sinking feeling of doubt. I mean, how can we even begin to fix something that has been broken for so long? And why is it that the more I try to awaken from this dream of suffering, the more there's another part of me drawn closer toward these cataclysmic whispers? The part of me secretly wishing it would all just fall apart. How can I imagine peace when I close my eyes and all I see is red?
Where we find ourselves right now is at a celestial sea change. The time of transition is now. Like a tidal change, you don't exactly know where the demarcation line is, but you can feel the energy shifting. And we do feel that the energies are shifting.
This is a Ruwatan spot. Ruwatan is exorcism. Transmutation, intense cleansing of things you have carried with you for too long, they say, for too long.
You know, the word apocalypse, in Greek, it means revelation. And we are living through an apocalypse, a uncovering of all the dark, insidious aspects of our human nature, our greed, our selfishness, our malice, our ill intent, our grandiosity, our hubris. This is really hard. Dying, letting go, civilizational collapse, civil unrest, uncertainty, unpredictability. This is hard. This is really hard. We have entered into a stretch where we are a generation that will be forced to deal with the reckoning of generations of the past.
Central Java, for almost 200 years, 730s until 930, they built this huge dynasty, the Sailendra, 280 sites, Borobudur, Prambanan, the most prolific temple builders in the whole world, actually. Buddha, Shiva, and animistic ancestral spots that were built within 150 years. But everything was abandoned suddenly. From 930 to 950, there was a 20-year period of intense seismic activity. And all these temples, Borobudur, Prambanan, maybe 100 years of activity, left abandoned to the trees. And apparently we find later prasasti that talk about this period as a pralaya, a huge Armageddon. An apocalypse has occurred there, and later on it was considered cursed earth. No more building will occur for almost 5 centuries.
I've been having this recurring image in my mind. Is it a dream? A vision? Just my imagination? In my mind, I stand at a crossroads. And in this part of the world, like many others, the crossroads hold a particular power. They are places frequented by certain undesirable travelers eager to hitch a ride. So here I stand, possessed by the image of these 2 roads before me. One of them leads into the fire, to the place history warns us about, to that place for which I am never prepared. And the other road leads to a future that grows colder, more optimized. lost in its obsession with distraction and security, and above all, control. A world willfully frozen in an ever more comfortable cage. And here I stand, torn apart, my body grasping for safety, my thoughts filled with 100 invisible hitchhikers all whispering which way to go. And my heart ready to cast itself into the flames. Why? What can it hear beyond the blaze? I only wish that there was another way. I wish there was another way.
But sometimes I have this difficulty to understand the ultimate creator. The main characteristic is permanent, ultimate,
Right.
and also merciful.
Right.
And since the creator has the whole power to define
Right.
your life, why the the sentient beings
Right.
has to go through the suffering? Where's the mercifulness? Because merciful will never put someone into a suffering. This merciful is the antidote to the suffering.
It's a cruel God, right?
Let's say natural disaster. If people dies, hunger.
Right. They believe in the Triloka Maya. So there's these 3 types of dimensions. There are 15 lokas, what they call the Kama lokas, 7, and then there's 7 hells, narakas. And in between somewhere there's this buffer zone, separating both. So subtle dimensions and hellish dimensions. And they say the humans is already number 1 naraka. Life is suffering because you're already born in the naraka. And then there's lower ones. And then there's a possibility to be reborn in any of the 15s. That's where there's mercifulness. And then there's the liberation of it.
But then the thing is, all these are wonderful, but why the rest of the others that who still need to suffer in the hell?
Right.
Even in the human realm, suffer like hell. If someone has the full power, it is not in your hand, individual person's hand. Then why he didn't create only happiness? And usually, people just say it. I would say, to test you.
Right, test, right?
And why did you test? Why did you go to test? Because you have the power to.
Sorry, that's where my battery died. It's kind of fitting though, isn't it? Could there ever be any good answer for the existence of evil, for the necessity of suffering, for the horrors that you can't unsee? Maybe it is to be tested, to learn the hard lesson, to evolve, to know the darkness so that we may know the light. Sure, it all makes sense, until it's staring you in the face. And perhaps the appeal of all the prophecies and the conspiracies and the astrology and all the apocalyptic thinking is that the cold hand of fate, the cruel God, is still easier to accept than the alternative. That the only creator of suffering is the one within.